Movie guy Matt Evans as we get ready for another weekend at the movies. I think I can say that without any copyright infringement. Our movie guy is Matt Evans, and he's on the phone with us now. Hello, Matt.
Hello, good morning.
Is that the movies? Is it still a thing? Is that still on TV?
I don't think so.
I know Siskel and Ebert are both gone, but nobody's carried that tradition on in television.
We've moved on to the internet now, so we don't really need movie review TV shows.
It's all on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that.
Speaking of the internet, before we get anywhere, shut off your internet. Don't Facebook, don't tweet, turn your TV off. Get all your information from KBLP until you've seen Infinity Wars.
That's right, because we're not going to spoil anything about Infinity War, right?
Yeah, and you do not want to be spoiled by this movie, I promise you.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that a lot, I'm sure, because you've seen it. Matt has a spoiler-free review of Avengers Infinity War, and we also got some other things to talk about. There's also, I think you told me, one other film that's new in theaters this weekend.
Yeah, Traffic comes out this week. It's a psychological thriller starring Halle Berry. So a big action piece. Superhero movies are not your thing. There is other options. Of course, there's also still a lot of great movies that have come out before this that are still in theaters. But as far as I'm concerned, if you are Halle Berry, you know that your movie doesn't have confidence in itself. If you're coming out up against Infinity Wars, you know exactly where you stand in the movie world. So I would just skip this and maybe catch it on DVD.
Sure. Well, obviously, Infinity War is going to be the big box office hit this weekend, opening weekend. So let's get right into it, Matt. Give us your spoiler-free review.
Let's see. Where do we want to start on this? Fresh off of Black Panther, which was Marvel's breakout hit. I mean, did way better than expected, broke records all over the place. Marvel has hit another home run. I went and saw it late last night, and it literally picks up from moment one. And before the title card even flashes on the screen, it's like a punch to the gut, and it does not let up from beginning to end. And it's a 2-hour and 40-minute runtime on this movie, so it's a fairly long movie, but it does not feel that long at all. Everything is so well put together that it's really well done. And the crazy thing about this movie, it's packed to the brim with heroes from the first 10 years of the Marvel movies, and there's a perfect balance between characters. I cannot say enough about how well the Russo brothers did at making sure that none of the characters in this movie felt like they were just dropped in just for the sake of dropping them in. They like to say that this was the most ambitious crossover event of all time, and I am happy to say that they successfully delivered on every single front. The story was great. The character development was exactly what you'd expect from the Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The visuals were stunning. The movie is not without its flaws. I do have some complaints. One sequence in particular caught me off guard and was a bit jarring with some of the choices for that character. But even then, it kind of still feels like nitpicking. They managed to include all the levity and humor that we've come to expect from these movies, with enough high-action set pieces and twists and turns and emotional wrecking balls that I'm 12 hours since I've seen the movie, and I'm still reeling from it. It is an emotional gut punch, especially if you've invested in these characters at all. Even though they kind of split this movie, there's a sequel coming out next year, Avengers 4, yet untitled. Originally, it was billed as the second part of this movie, and after seeing this one, I'm not sure why they chose to separate it, because one of my biggest complaints is this movie very much feels like half a film. It ends on a note that makes you want to see more, and I guess that's the intention, but it still very much feels like half a movie. So next year's Infinity Wars 4 is going to button up everything for us. And man, what a ride! And I'm a big fan of movies, so lots of movies impressed me, but this one was just absolutely stunning.
You mentioned the runtime, and that is a pretty lengthy film. So is this? And there's it has to be, as you said, there's a lot going on from start to finish. So is this the kind of film that if we're going to go see it in the theater, we need to go like on an no fluids diet for 12 hours before we go see the film?
That's exactly what I did. I'm a movie guy with snacks and drinks the whole nine. I skipped the soda this time. I didn't want to miss a single second of it, and I'm glad I didn't, because there's not a single lull in the movie long enough for you to make that trek and back without missing something integral to the story.
Okay, that's important to know. What about the audience reaction? I'm sure you saw it with a theater full of people.
Jaws dropped, stunned. one of the reasons I say stay away from the spoilers, especially for this movie, is that the Russo brothers have gone out of their way to make sure that this movie doesn't, isn't leaked all over the internet. A lot of the scenes that you see in the trailer are just flat out not in the movie.
Nice. I like that. So, and then
right, and not only that, the setup that you see him in the trailer, there's no context in the movie in which that scene would even make sense. And so it's a very big misdirect to kind of make sure that some of this still feels fresh, and it does. It feels like, I was unfortunate enough I was emailed, doing this, I keep my fingers out there on Twitter and stuff like that, trying to keep apprised of all the movie news and stuff like that. So just part of the business is I end up getting spoilers, and I managed to get a couple spoilers that were sent to me in email, and even the deep web spoilers that were sent to me couldn't cover all the turns and twists that this movie throws at you.
Wow. They've gone to some great lengths to make sure this is as spoiler-free as possible. So we appreciate you not spoiling anything also.
Yeah, I don't hear this a lot from superhero movies. I know that Disney's doing a big push with Black Panther for Oscar consideration. I would absolutely be shocked if this movie wasn't up for a few next year as well.
All right, we're talking to Matt Evans, our movie guy here. Infinity War obviously is hogging up most of the headlines in the entertainment world this weekend, but what other news do we have from you today?
Since we're talking about childhood favorites and superheroes, let's keep with the nostalgia kick. Chris Columbus, the writer of the original Gremlins movie, in an interview the other day, he confirmed that they are going to be doing Gremlins, a third Gremlins movie. Unfortunately, it's not a continuation. It is a reboot. If you follow the history of them trying to get this third one off the ground, it's been a rocky project. They've been working on it for about 15 years now. Chris Columbus was brought in 2015 to kind of button it up and finally get it done, and it looks like they're actually making progress. So look for Gremlins in 2020 or so.
Okay, and it's a reboot, but I'm sure the rules still apply, right?
They better still apply. CinemaCon was this week as well. CinemaCon in Las Vegas is perhaps the biggest exhibition of movie news available to anybody, and all the major studios were there. We got glimpses of a lot of great upcoming movies. We got to see scenes from Disney's Aladdin. There was clips from the new Mission Impossible Fallout that's coming out with Tom Cruise, which, if you're a fan of those action movies, he's great in all of them. This one doesn't look like it's going to disappoint. I got some scenes from Will Ferrell's upcoming movie, Sherlock and Watson. Lots of really great stuff out there. If you follow me on my Facebook, I'm going to post links. I've got some links up already to check out some full articles of more information about all these movies. But it's an exciting time if you're a movie fan. 2018 is jam-packed. We still got quite a few big hits coming out after Infinity Wars, and 2019 looks to not let up at all either.
Fantastic! Sounds like a good time for movie fans to go to the theater. Any other news going on this week?
Not a whole lot. I'm going to be out if you're in Norman this week, Tuesday night. I'm going to be at the Sooner Legends bar, slinging some jokes. So if you want to get out and have a good time, come check me out. There's quite a few comedians that are going to be up on stage. So come out and get a drink and enjoy some laughs.
Yeah, and they have some pretty good food there at Sooner Legends also. So what night are you going to be there? I'm going to be there Tuesday night. Show starts at 7. Tuesday night at 7. You can see Matt Evans in the flesh doing his thing on the stage with his jokes. So just to kind of wrap up and finish on Avengers, I'm sure you probably have seen the clips of the premiere in Hollywood, and I know you've been keeping up with the things that have been going on with the great Stan Lee, and of course he's 95 years old. He's been under the weather for much of the last year or so, but to see him at the premiere being as jovial as one can be when you're 95, that's a great thing to be able to see him still out there being a part of this Marvel movie universe from all these characters that he helped create. Right, and the great thing about Stan Lee is that not only is he just a great personality, and just everybody that you talk to that has met him or spent time with him tells you that this is really his true passion. This is really his calling in life and what he loves. And he brings so much joy to people from all generations over the years. To finally get to see him be happy, because there was a lot of videos coming out over the past couple months that didn't seem to show him in a really good place. But he lost his wife of 75 years last year, right. And that's tough. That's a really tough thing for anybody. So he's going through a lot, and
my thoughts and prayers are still with him, and hopefully all the rumors and stuff that we're hearing turn out to be false.
Exactly. So, Matt, before we let you go, you saw Infinity War last night. Now, how soon are you planning on seeing it again?
I've still got tickets for this evening, so I'm probably going to go check it out again this evening. And when the crowds die down next week, I'm going to go see it again.
Okay, so it's that good.
It is absolutely that good. And I'm a nerd, so I gush over these superhero movies, but there's no need to gush over this one. Character development is fantastic. Josh Brolin makes Killmonger was being touted as the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Thanos tops him. Josh Brolin does a fantastic job. When I say they hit a home run, the only complaints I could come up with the movie, I had to sit and think about, if I had to complain about the movie, what were my complaints?
That's a good.
And that says a lot about the quality of the movie. There's nothing that right off the top was just like, oh, I didn't like that.
All right, Matt Evans, our movie guy, joining us to talk on a Friday morning, and we'll talk to you again next week. So thanks for all of your insight, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Weather looks nice today. I hear there's rain in the forecast, but get out while the sun's shining.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, have a good one.